day, sighted it in. I have the new Bushmaster 450 with a nice Vanguard scope. And the first 2 shots right in the heart.
Sponsor alert.
Chris was standing next to me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go for the headshot. And I got a little deer target from the store. So
Target.
Dead nuts. Dead nuts. So Friday morning, Chris left, and I had one more night to hunt. So I'm like,
not
well,
the Schnurr, McGee.
No, McGee.
Yeah, McGee. I just want to clarify that because
yeah.
Chris doesn't want any part of this.
No. So
we need to stop. Okay, we can't use the name Chris because it doesn't work.
All
so
right,
we have to pick names here.
Nickname.
McGee.
Nickname.
I always go by my last name, so it's fine.
No, we need I don't.
Mickey
I don't
McGee?
like
We'll just call him
that.
Stinky.
I don't like that. You can't say Schnurr and be serious. Let's come up with a nickname real quick.
For who? McGee? Let's focus on
No.
Who gets the nickname? Who's gonna get it?
Regardless.
Because I can't say Schnurr. I can say McGee. Can't say Schnurr.
There's
Should
2
we say
McGees.
McGee?
Just find a
Yeah,
McGee.
that's the
Sounds
problem
like
with
it
McGee,
sounds
though.
like I'm sneezing.
Bless you.
There's Uncle Bob. That's true.
Yeah, Uncle Bob.
True, it's Uncle
There's
Bob.
Dirty Chris. I don't know.
Jerk.
Dirty.
What? This one?
We still won't be able to tell which one.
Okay, so hold on, Ashley. Most embarrassing thing you know about Chris that you can say like, here.
PG, Ashley. PG, Ashley.
It's Thanksgiving.
Let's go. No, he's not
hard, like,
listening.
I just
No, it's
put on
not
the
hard.
spot.
It's not
She's
hard.
taking the
I can
fifth.
come up with about 10 things right now, just right off the top of my head.
Go.
She's
No.
taking the fifth.
No, she won't say that. What?
We're not live or anything, so we're
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Come on.
The most embarrassing thing about me?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not much. Might be embarrassing. It could be embarrassing for you, but not for me.
He missed a bullseye once.
Yeah.
You want me to finish the story or we're moving on?
Come on, let's get on with the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's telling the story? Oh,
Who's
back
telling
over
the
here.
story?
This
Yeah,
guy.
back over to you.
Loserville's telling the story. So Chris leaves, and I decide, well, I'm going to move some stands I'm going to move my blind in the woods.
First
'cause
mistake.
Why is that a mistake?
No, keep going.
Coming from a professional.
Sorry, I didn't know my mic
It was
was
hard
on.
Yeah.
to do this shit.
Dave, you're
That
supposed
was
to
a
mute
mistake.
me.
So
sorry about
I
that.
take the UTV, I take the back seat out, and all that crap, and I take my gun. I have a soft case for that Ruger, and I set it in the front seat. Well, as I'm moving through the woods, I mean, I'm just going through that one trail, and it's just boom, 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 boom. I don't even think about it, right? No big deal. I put it up, and I sat there Friday night. I saw a couple deer come down, and they go down on the ridge by the river, so we were right, and they're doing it right before they got to me. And it was probably a doe and a spike. So about half an hour before light, I decided, I'm going to go to the bowl. I'm going to sneak around and see what's in there. And I saw a doe and the 2 fawns, which I'm soft. I'm not shooting that doe because I watched Baby too many times. So I go around the bowl, and I come back. They're like, there's another deer in there. And I look, it's an 8-point, about the size of his ears, and there's a log right there. Everything's perfect. It's right at 100 yards, and I took the shot, and he hunched up like I smoked him, and I'm like, there we go. So I wait like an hour, I go back, look for blood, couldn't find blood. Like 10 yards in front of him, pure snow, where he was probably standing, just barely any. Couldn't find hair, couldn't find blood. Went back in the morning, same thing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I went home and to my dad's house and took shots again, and it was off by like 10 inches. So got jacked up running around in the UTV. So now it's back in gear, and I'll shoot it again before I go back out Friday.
Did you have a clean miss, you think?
Well, 2 years ago, the last year I hunted with a 12 gauge
So
in
this
the
is a
same exact
common
spot.
thing.
No, I shot the deer in the chest,
Oh.
not one drop of blood. I went back for Thanksgiving, went across the runway, and there he was laying.
So this one you aimed for the middle of the chest?
No, this one aimed for he was broadside, right on the lungs.
So when you're...
That gun should have just dropped him.
When you checked it and it was 10 inches off, was it low, high, was it?
It was high into the left. So it probably just missed him.
So you missed him high back.
Yeah.
So you probably shot right over there.
That's good. I know you said he lurched.
He looked like I smoked him, and then he kind of just ran off. So you never know. Maybe I'll find him, but the gun was off, so I fixed that, and we'll shoot it one more time before I go back out Friday.
How long did you stand looking for blood?
2 hours at least that night, and then 2-3 hours the next morning, and then I walked the property again.
Did you actually look
And you
for
had
him?
snow, right?
I look for a deer more than anybody usually does.
Dave.
I have issues.
What?
I will look for deer for days. I don't care if I see any
You had
blood.
snow?
Mistake number
Not
2.
where he'd shot, just a little bit, but I couldn't
Miami.
find anything. I couldn't find where he was standing. I couldn't find his prints because the ground was so hard. So either
Well-
we'll find him or we'll get another shot at another one. So
Bad juju.
I know that's what it's karma because I was making fun of Dave the whole week.
That was well.
Not nice. Bad person.
Just want to take a pause to say welcome to all of our live friends on YouTube. We are live on YouTube for those who are wondering.
I think they figured it out.
Well, I mean, the people on the radio don't know that or listening on the podcast, right? So, anyway, just want to say welcome to everybody who's on. Some of the people are just coming out of the woods actually themselves. We got people on here from Kentucky. We got people on from Maine. We got people on from Brazil. I mean, it's just worldwide. So thank you guys for the support and join us on the live feed for the YouTube page. Tennessee's in the house. Dusty Bowhunter says just got out of the stand and seen a big zero got skunked. Sorry, I thought zero maybe meant like big for a second, but he got skunked. Sorry,
I was worried
Dusty.
about what you were going to say.
That stinks. But yeah, so if you guys got any questions, you can go ahead and post those. We'll get to them as we go.
And please give us recommendations for nicknames.
Yes. Sheldon wants to know when we're
I
drawing
would
for
love to hear everybody's opinion.
Sheldon wants to know when we're drawing for the bow giveaway. That will be in December and towards the end. So
Yeah,
Tim and I were just talking about that.
We are. I think what we're going to do. It's going to be right around Christmas. So
I think we have
it's gonna be-
12/31 's the
'cause-
actual date.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're gonna do another Christmas season live podcast.
Okay.
And what we're going to do on that podcast is we're going to announce the winner on that podcast. So I think we're really excited. Last year, Dave and I remember this. It was
We'll give a
by
bunch of
the
stuff
end of
away
the-
and you guys will ship it.
There's some bitterness in that from last year. Last year, I remember Dave and I, we had a lot of fun. We did, I think it was close to almost a 3-hour podcast, live podcast during Christmas time where we were just giving away things left and right. And we wrote everybody's winner.
Didn't track who they're giving away to.
It was great. It was organized chaos, first of all. And no, we're not shipping anything, Jamie. That's your job.
No,
Thank you.
that's a big zero.
That is going to happen.
No.
There's 4 owners and we've all voted,
It's
so
gonna
it is
happen.
going to happen. We
See
can pull.
For an extra $500,
We can pull voting rights for who's the official shipper.
Fine, you know what?
You can pawn it to somebody else.
This is
Maybe
what
you
we're
pawn
gonna
it to
do then.
McGee.
You know what? No, forget it. We're not doing anything.
Yeah, forget it. Forget everything.
We're not shipping.
All because
we're not
hey,
shipping.
all
anything.
because of
That's
this guy.
giveaway.
Surprise,
How do you
surprise.
how do you feel, Mr. Grinch?
What?
Yeah.
Tim, you're not doing anything? Surprise, surprise.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Other than shooting the only
getting rough.
deer this year.
Do we consider
Just
that a deer?
saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Sorry,
I guess
guys.
Technically,
This
it's a
camera
deer.
works
That
horrible.
poor deer only had 1 year on
Yeah.
it.
So let's shift to Kevin. He hasn't talked over there.
Maybe
I don't know how you live with yourself.
We gotta shift to
E2,
Kevin.
Brute? E2?
I'm muting you guys.
Really?
Kevin's gonna tell us a couple stories.
I've shot a deer this year, but I'm not making a big deal out of it. I mean, it's a deer.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap!
that's like you've been there before. Come
Yeah.
on. He out.
I do. Oh,
All right,
I'm
Kevin.
taking
I love
my
you, Tim.
headphones off and going away.
So anyway,
I will ship up to 5 packages. I'll make a deal with you.
let's get back to Thanksgiving a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
So,
All right, Kevin, it's on you.
So, some Thanksgiving traditions. What do you guys? Anybody got any Thanksgiving traditions they do? I know.
I feel like I'm muted.
I know one thing that I always love Thanksgiving because it's a time when my family gets together. We have some really good food. And this year we're switching over. We're gonna actually have Thanksgiving at my daughter's house, which will be kind of nice. I don't have to do all the work.
Not this daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still cooking the turkey, but everything else can be over there, so that's gonna be nice. And I know there's some people. I got a buddy of mine. Every Thanksgiving they go hunting, and they're pretty successful on Thanksgiving Day. And, Max Martin he's got a deer almost every Thanksgiving.
I feel like a lot of people have gotten
Is it
deer
really
this year.
a deer, or is it just a deer? Like,
Is
I'm
Tim
not-
got a
I'm
mic
not
over
really
there?
sure.
Is he got a headset on?
Sorry, hold on. Let me put my
I'm
headset
sorry,
on.
he doesn't have a headset.
I'm sorry. I just walked back into the room after this, and I'm
Oh,
just
what's that?
wondering, is it? Oh,
Oh,
you-
he's
oh,
muted.
oh,
I control the board. Woo! Oh
So
no,
here's the question:
Kevin.
Is it
Kevin,
is it
total
really,
fail.
Is it really a deer, or is it just a deer? That's my question.
Technically a deer.
All right, Tim, you ready to come back
Is
on?
the anatomy of a rig.
No, I'm not ready to come back on.
But anyway, anybody
All right.
else hunt on Thanksgiving Day?
I will.
I did last year, and that's when I got my deer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley and I will go out this year. I'm gonna try to get her to get on a deer this year.
And has it been it seems like maybe it's a good time to go.
Oh, yeah.
I've never hunted on Thanksgiving. I've
It's
always
awesome.
had to work on Thanksgiving, but Craig gave me the day off. So
My dad would almost hunt every Thanksgiving growing up to avoid my in-laws and never come in.
Great.
Well,
Honestly, that's I hope my wife doesn't watch this, but that's a great idea. I think we should have a new traditional hunt camp, Thanksgiving hunt camp.
I'm down.
I think this is great. I think it's a great idea.
We'll cook our own turkey.
Absolutely.
Make some turkey and dumplings.
Oh, man,
that's good.
So-
that was really good.
so
Bradley says real quick, he says, every year my family has a hunt Thanksgiving morning. Goes back
Nice.
40 years.
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's amazing.
That is great.
That is
That's
amazing.
a really cool one, actually. I do like
I wonder, do they ask them if do they do a drive?
You heard it, Bradley. Is there a drive involved or not?
That's
And also, let's go another quick shout out, Raheel. We got people from everywhere, guys. We got Northeast Ohio. We got
it. Okay, so first
Northern
of all,
British Columbia,
I don't know if we can mention Ohio.
Ontario,
Aren't we
We're not
North-
talking to
We're
Ohio.
not talking
people this
Ohio this week. Sorry.
Maybe next week.
Love hunting in Ohio.
North Carolina.
But it's Michigan, Ohio State.
You know
or
what?
University of Michigan.
Go Buckeyes.
Oh.
Just kidding. I
What
did
the
not say
hell?
that. I did not say that.
Can we mute
What
him?
is
We
going
just got.
on?
We
What
just
is
lost
going
all these
on?
viewers.
Oh,
Wow, look at that. 0 viewers.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's one thing we do have is a little bit of football love here. Anyway,
Bradley says they do dog drive.
Yeah, that's the only tradition I really have. Is I unfortunately watch the
Tennessee.
Lions every year.
Oh, God. And you've had some awful
Oh God.
Thanksgivings.
Maybe that.
This
maybe
one's gonna
that's-
be bad.
Maybe that's why
Carry-ons out.
you're a permanent resident of
Ugh.
Loserville.
You know that, I don't know if you remember this one, but speaking of Lions and people who aren't from Michigan probably don't get this, but I think the craziest one was, and you probably remember this, the Lions actually played to a tie, and it was like dinner time, so we had to leave to go to dinner. This is back when we weren't having it at my house. We walked out the door, I started the car, and the game was over. I mean, I watched the end of the game, was going overtime.
And it was just like that.
The team they played ran the kickoff back, the overtime kickoff back.
Not the Lions.
Is that when? Is that when he chose the wind?
Probably, I don't know, but it was just, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was
What
like,
coach was that?
oh, who knows, one another loser up in the league.
Jesus.
So another topic,
yeah.
and not so much to do with Thanksgiving, but one thing I really noticed this year, and I'm wondering if the people out there notice this, so I've been hunting quite a bit, and the coyotes are just crazy this year.
Killed them all.
Mine are all
mean-
gone.
I mean,
No,
you got
no
'em?
coyote traces in my area. My neighbors have been going awesome. 'cause I've
Well,
got no
I
chance
was
to kill
I was
coyotes,
gonna
but
say I
there's no
think
one.
we need to organize a couple of hunts this on the full moons this winter and go knock some of them down. I had a coyote yesterday. I was in the blind yesterday. I actually had a coyote come in at 11:15 in the morning, completely circled me. Went into the bait to check things out for the for the deer.
Should smoke
and
them.
then, I was going to, but I sat for 4 hours
Yeah.
and I had the day before, like either a 10-point or a 12-point chasing a doe like 500 yards away from me. I'm like, I don't want to give up my position for this coyote, but man, I probably should have. But I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's like what happened to me last year. Me losing that deer to a coyote, and then earlier before that even happened, watching a coyote chase a yearling.
Yeah.
Right in front of my blind. I think we've seen that more the last couple of years than anything else in this area.
I know there's certain animals like rabbits and stuff. They go in cycles. Like they'll be up and down and all. I just wonder if right now the coyote cycle is up and down because, like, I was. These are different places that we hunt. I was hunting in Kalkaska. You could hear them packing up at night.
Yeah.
Hunting in the UP, you can hear them packing up at night. I'm like, and up there's wolves too. And if wolves move in, the coyotes move out. So I guess that's one good thing about having a wolf, but not that good.
Yeah.
pick your poison.
What they just took? Well, they just brought wolves onto what's that island?
Royal.
Yeah, they introduced what, 2 more?
Yeah, they had to do that though. I mean, that's good.
They're trying to control the moose population. I think is the main.
You know, what would be an awesome way to control the moose population?
Yeah,
Let's
weird.
harm them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been
Give-
I can't think of a lot of people that would pay good money to go hunt.
Give 10 licenses.
Well, you know
out,
what?
for
So
Christ's sake.
here's what's weird to me, and this is what I heard is that I think they're don't quote me on the numbers, please, or do I don't care. We'll see the comments anyway. I think what they're doing is their numbers are they're trying to introduce I think somewhere around 30 wolves over time, and what they're expecting is only 22 of them to survive.
Right.
Like to me, that's just a shame. Like that without a shadow of doubt, and I get it. Nature takes its course, and that's how they reference it and all that kind of stuff. But if you're introducing a species that you know is gonna die, but they could have been successful where you displaced them from, I think that's a shame. Number one. Number two, I think that goes along with the point that you guys are making is that there's a better way to control the population of moose, and that's let me go.
Well, I don't necessarily say it's a better way. I'm just saying it's
a better way.
It's an option.
No, it's a better.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Why,
It's an
didn't
option.
they all
disagree.
die off from inbreeding
I
or something
disagree.
last time?
So this is a unique situation now. Isle Royale is a national park,
Right.
and there's been a symbiotic relationship between wolves and moose up there for probably 100 years. And over time, because it's an island, and because of different diseases and stuff like that, the wolf population has died out. At the same time, the moose population now is exploding,
Right.
and there's not enough food. It's an island. There's only so much food
Right.
for them. So this reintroduction is not like they're bringing something back that hasn't been there the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And it's
I'm
one of
not
the
saying-
few, it's
No,
one
I
of the
agree.
few places that people can go and actually enjoy nature where it's just nature as far as, it's like going to it'd be saying like, let's go hunt in Yellowstone and stuff like that, I mean, these are national parks.
I love the hunt
I would too,
I'm just saying.
but I'm saying that relationship is kept up. Moose population under control and the wolf population under control for years. Now, why all of a sudden they lost them all? Could be disease, could be inbreeding, could be a little bit of everything.
In regards to the wolf or the moose?
The wolf.
I think
So
what
I
I've
think the
heard is that
biggest-
there's been kind of like this back and forth. Like you're gonna
Right.
see the wolf population's gonna grow, and then all of a sudden we're gonna see a drastic drop or a drop in the moose population, and then all of a sudden we're gonna see it go back and forth.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it's been going for years, for as long as that park has been there, but something happened and all the wolves died. I mean, they were down to one single wolf that they knew of.
Well, I think what it is that the wolf population of the UP dissipated for years, right?
Yeah.
So normally you have a migration from the mainland to the island. And with the wolf population that dissipated from the mainland, you're not going to see that migration to the island, which is how they would have got there originally. So
That's
human intervention, I mean,
Yeah, but how would they get
has
to
to be true.
The question is,
One,
how would they get to the island?
I don't
They
even
came
know
from-
how you can disagree with that.
Well, because you have to know geography.
No, but how? Okay, so let me ask this
So
question.
the island
Hold
is
on.
close to Minnesota.
Right.
Even though it's part of Michigan, it's actually, they did come from land, probably from Minnesota, but not from Michigan.
Right.
From the
It-
mainland,
it's-
right?
Yeah. but
Right.
not
So that's what I'm
Michigan.
saying. What they're doing is they're using human intervention to affect the natural population of what's going on. That's what I don't agree with. Is that they were there for hundreds of years. They got there by themselves. And what we need to do is restore the population to where they were so they can migrate into where they should be and not
That's what they're
introduce them. They're introducing them in an area that I believe probably shouldn't be. I think there's other ways that you can control the population of moose in that. And I bring up the example, I'm going to bring up an example of Belle Isle. So when I think of Isle Royale, I think of Belle Isle. There's a deer population on Belle Isle that has become its own species because of inbreeding, right? Introducing a predator species to that, I don't think is going to solve that problem at all. What solves the problem is either removing the species entirely or controlling it by human means if you're going to control it by human means, but I don't think you affect another. I'm never a proponent of introducing another species to control that, to control another
Well,
population.
they're not introducing it to control it only. They're introducing it because it's that's a normal. There's been wolves there, so.
I mean, I guess I can see that, but I don't know. I disagree with their philosophy in introducing the wolves for that.